Hey everyone, it's Teresa, and today is another fun video, and I'm going to tell you why in just a couple minutes. I am going to do some shabby chic stuff for you, and we're going to start off with one of these mirrors from the Dollar Tree. They come in a just variety of colors. I have this black one. Oh, there I am. Very serious face. I have this black one, but then I also have one that's in like this awesome like lime green. But I was making it easy on myself and just went with the black. I have covered the mirror part in painter's tape. That way I don't paint on the mirror. I figured if I got a little bit of paint on it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I would just, wipe it away. But I was like, well, let's just cover it so I don't have to worry about it. And we're just gonna, once you've covered it up, it's really easy. There's a gap in there so you can cut it, with your little craft knife or whatnot pretty easily. So I was happy I decided to cover it and I didn't have to worry about it. And we're going to start off with our Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, a Plaid product, of course. And I went ahead and did 2 coats of that. And next we're going to do the folk art antique wax. Now, what I've done here with the antique wax is I'm just kind of going over and trying to really get all of the raised areas. I'm doing this with a foam brush. Usually I am a big fan of like the little chip brushes. You'll see them again, don't worry. They're not going anywhere in this video. But I wanted to do it a little bit differently because I didn't want to like saturate the whole thing with the antique wax. I really wanted just to bring out all of this gorgeous detail. And it's like if this mirror is all one color, you can't see it. You can't see all that detail. And I just kind of went back with a little bit of that same plaster colored paint just to, hide any areas that I went too heavy on the wax. And I'm just going to kind of keep doing that all throughout. Now, this video has great inspiration for you if you have a very limited budget and you don't have a ton of different choices when it comes to your paint colors. You know what I mean? Like this predominantly is like these 2 colors throughout this video. I throw in a little bit of extra one in a minute. You'll see it, and I think the next DIY. But like I said, lots of detail that we're really going to just bring that in there. I would highly recommend getting an antique wax. This one they have from Folk Art, and then Plaid also makes the one from Waverly. I have it. It's literally still in the bottle. I haven't even started using it yet. It lasts forever. And next we're going to take 2 identical pieces that I have from Totally Dazzled. They did send these to me. They're super, super awesome. These are from their like embellishment sets, and they are in rose gold. I kind of dab them a little bit with that antique wax from Folk Art, and then I'm going to wipe away any of that wax that got on like the little jewelry bits. I still want it to sparkle, but I just kind of wanted to dull down the rose gold a little bit. So don't worry. If antiquing that part of it isn't your thing, no worries, just don't do it. I'll add a little bit of hot glue onto, of course it didn't make a difference because I put it on a spot that I didn't have anything to stick to. So I'll just add it on, just a little bit of those little embellishment spots. I just thought that they were a nice touch, just to give it a little bit of glimpse, What is glimpse, Teresa? Glitz and glamour, to add to our shabby chic mirror. I just thought that it was a really nice little touch. My daughter saw it. She tried to steal it already. So, but here is the finished product. I showed you the back because it's just gorgeous. So like I mentioned, this is a fun video because it is full of all of my friends that are also Plaid ambassadors. And it is hosted by Indiana Jones, the one, the awesome Indiana Jones. And today what you'll need to do to get entered in to win a giveaway of, you guessed it, Plaid products, you're going to need to make sure that you use a code word in your comment. And you're going to need to make sure you do the same for all of these wonderful, wonderful friends that are part of this collaboration as well. To find out the code word, you're going to have to keep watching, and you'll find out in just a few minutes what it is. So I've got this little family Shadowbox kind of thing from the Dollar Tree, and I had a couple of different ideas for this, and I really like the way I ended up using it though. So first we're going to hit it with the heat gun, and you're going to slowly, that's the key word here, slowly take the frame off, because otherwise you're going to end up bending it and breaking it, because this is a pretty thin cardboard. or whatever they like to say it is instead of cardboard, but it's basically cardboard. And we're going to go in again with the Waverly chalk paint in plaster, a Plaid product, of course, and we're going to do a brushing. Now, I'm not going for full coverage here. I am going pretty heavy. It's not quite dry brush, you know, it's way more than that, but I'm trying to build up some different, you know, like a different layering effect. I didn't want the brown completely by itself, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to build it up and make it a little different. And you'll see the different layers that we're going to add on in just a minute. So, and one thing that's great, if you like Farmhouse, which obviously if you're part of my channel, you probably do, leave it like that. Now we're going to go in again with that folk art antique wax, and I'm going to build in another layer. And we're just going to go over it. Like I said, it's not quite a dry brush. It's pretty thick, a little less so on the antiquing part though, because again, we want some of that white to come through, and you don't want to completely cover it. It's got the brown underneath. Like I said, we're really just kind of building layer upon layer. And these are really two of the colors that I would definitely suggest getting out of Plaid. There's a few different varieties, you know, depending on which brand you're looking at. So lots of different choices. And next I'm going to take the scrapbook paper that I got, I think from Michael's. I might be wrong. I'm so sorry. I cannot remember this one. I've had it for a while, but it's almost the right, you know, length, and I just had to cut it down a little bit, and then it's almost, well, maybe the right width. Wrong, I don't know. You saw what I was talking about. And I went ahead and did the plaster color all the way around, and then we'll go back and antique it after. Now we're going to put down a hefty amount of Mod Podge, also from Plaid, and it's just a regular matte one. It doesn't really matter because you're going to just put down your paper on top of this. I wasn't worried about it being super thin because this paper that I'm using is relatively thick. So I've already cut it down, and here I did it backwards. I put it in backwards, guys. Oh, I was like, as soon as I did it, like, wait, what am I doing? So we're just going to work on getting that in there fairly well, and, you know, really trying to get into the corners when you're placing all of your Mod Podge. And I'm going to take this handy dandy little squeegee thing from Plaid that they sent to me and really press it into those corners. I'm going to take my Mod Podge and just kind of going over the outside. I didn't want to get rid of all the really, you know, pretty shimmery to it, so I don't want to do it over everything. And again, we're going back in with our antique wax just a little bit, and I'm using a chip brush, but I'm really just using almost like the side of the brush, if that makes any sense. I didn't want to get it completely saturated. I really wanted to make sure it just brought out all of those details of those flowers. That's what I'm going with they are. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be roses. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. So once that is done, though, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and reattach the family wording part. We're just going to throw on some of our hot glue, and we're just going to push that in place, try to get it all set up nice and even before your glue dries. I had a bit of a problem with that, but that's okay. And then we're going to go back in with that little bit of the antique wax that we have left around the perimeter of the frame. I'm focusing in mostly on the corners to give that a lot more opacity, to kind of really show some age, some shabbiness, if you will. And now we're going to use the Waverly chalk paint in Pool. It's a really pretty color, and guess what? That's your code word. Make sure you leave a comment with the word pool in it. P-O-O-L. Pool. And I actually mixed that together with some of the plaster color just to kind of tone down the blue tone. I wanted a little hint of it, you know what I mean? Just enough to make it shabby chic, but not too much. So make sure again that you're using the word pool in your comment. So it could be anything. It could be, hey, I relaxed by the pool today, or I really liked that pool colored paint that you used from Plaid. Anything you want. And so here's our finished product. You can really see that, you know, really pretty blue color there. Now on to our last project of the day. I hope you're still here, and we're just going to take this little Shadowbox from Michael's. They're like 99 cents. You can use a coupon on them. I had one that was like 30% off, so I got this sucker for like 70 cents. You cannot beat that. I'm going in with Waverly chalk paint and plaster yet again. I'm telling you, you need to get this color paint in your life. If you like Shabby Chic, if you like Farmhouse, this is the color you need. and I'm just doing a pretty thorough coating of it, you know, very dryish. And again, back with the antique wax, same brush. I didn't really clean it off all that much. So like I said, we're just kind of going in with these two colors quite a bit throughout this project. I did a little too heavy there, but that's all right. I decided, you know what, I needed a little bit darker, so I went ahead and just grabbed my paper towel that I had. It was a little damp from cleaning off one of the brushes, and I just went ahead and gone in. I wanted it darker because we're going to put down a rub-on transfer and I wanted it darker so you could really see the rub-on transfer. It's a pretty light tone, very perfect for shabby chic DIYs, but I wanted to give it a little something to stand out against. So you can kind of see, like I said, I went in a little deeper with that, you know, that was really light tone wood. We're going to put down a coat of Mod Podge because I was figuring that our rub-on transfer wasn't going to stick too well to it, and I think it helped. Now, folk art actually makes rub-on transfers, and I wish I had a few, but I don't. So this one is from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to slap that baby on there. I thought like, well, maybe I should center it. And then I was like, no, you know, I'm going to put it off to the side. I'm going to add a little bit more to it on, you know, the left side of this. So once I take, you know, forever to put it down, I'll rub it down really nice. And then you're going to take something more like this. This is one of my little spatula things. It's really made to use on a face mask. I tried my Cricut tool to varnish it and it just didn't do enough for me, you know, so you want something a little bit heavier than that little varnishing tool. Once we've gotten that down and I added another part of the transfer, I'm going to go back in with the same, again, plaster colored paint just to kind of bring down a little bit of the darkness and just to give it, again, another, like, you know, another layer of stuff. I've noticed that like my favorite things that I've made have a lot of different layers kind of involved in it. So once we've gotten it to the point where, you know, you like it, we're all finished. I think it looks really cute, just perfect little touch of something. And thank you guys, that is the end. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you so much to everyone who has been with me for so long and to all of my new friends and family that are joining me here in this wonderful YouTube journey. Don't forget to check out everybody so that you can get entered in, and make sure you remember the code word. If you don't remember it, go back and find it and make sure you have a comment with the code word. Don't cheat. Don't, you know, just say the word. Use it in a full sentence. And then I will see you guys next time.